All right, so we are plugging in -6. Which one do we get to plug in -6 for? The first one. So we're going to say absolute value of -6 plus 4. What is -6 plus 4? -2. So this is the absolute value of -2, which is 2. Okay? If we're going to plug in -3, where do we plug it in? -3? First one, because -3 is smaller than a positive. So we've got absolute value of -3 plus 4, which is
1.
Absolute value of 1, which is
1.
Off the screen, which is 1. Okay? Yes. Yeah. You can turn it off. All right. If we're plugging in 2, we have to be careful. Which one are we allowed to actually put 2 in? Yeah, the top one, because that's where it says it can equal 2. So now we have the absolute value of 2 plus 4, which is the absolute value of 6, which is 6. Make sure you write absolute value of 6 and not 161. All right, next one, we're plugging in 10. That's the second one, because 10 is bigger than 2. So we have negative times the absolute value of 10, which is -10. All right. For the domain, what do I have to look for? X values. I look from left to right. Aniston did not get 10 hours of sleep last night. That's why she's sleeping. Possibly. So if we look at this picture, we can see an arrow going to the left. So what should my domain start with? A negative infinity. So it goes left forever. I can see it's got all these negative values. We have an X value of 0. I'm a little concerned about this part right here. What does this part right here tell me? It's open, so you're right. It does tell me it's not continuous. When I look here, I can see an X value of 2 is missing, but is there actually an X value of 2? Yes, it's on the top part. Okay, so 2 is included. We were a little worried, but it's still there. And then we have all these positive values, and then it ends with the right arrow. So infinity. So something weird happened in the middle, but all the X values were included. Okay, for range, what do we do? Y values, so we're going from bottom to top. So when I look down, I can see a down arrow, and then we've got all the negative values, and then it stops. Where does it stop? -2, because we're using the Y coordinate. Bracket or parenthesis? Parenthesis, you cannot equal that point because it's not filled in. All right, then it's not filled in. You can't equal it. It's not filled in. Okay. And then we have another answer. So what do I put before I do my next answer? A U. And then what's the next Y value we can see? 4. Can we equal that point? Yes. So what do I put? Bracket. And then what do we see after that? Infinity, because it goes up forever. Go ahead and put your little stick figure on the picture and label the picture for increasing and decreasing. So if I put him right here, what's he doing? Decreasing. And then he hits the corner, and then what does he do? Increase. And then he falls over the edge and dies. But there's a hole here, and a new guy pops out of the hole. He fell off and landed on it. So should I take off one of the legs, or? Okay, so that's a cast on his leg. Okay, so now what is he doing? Decreasing. Yes. All right, so what is the x value right here? Left arrow. What's the x value at a left arrow? Negative infinity. What is the x value right here? 0, good. What is the x value right here? 2. What is the x value right here? 2. And x value for a right arrow? Infinity. Okay, go ahead and write your answers. So for increasing, I should have 0 to 2. And for decreasing, I should have, and then 2 to infinity. And why are there no brackets? Yeah, you don't use brackets for increasing and decreasing because if I cover everything else up and I just look at the point, an individual point does not slant up or down. And also, if you put a bracket, you kill a baby raccoon. All right, is there a max or min on the graph? A mountaintop or a valley? Ooh, yeah, I see one. So for max, I'm going to say none, but what am I going to say for min? Yeah, 0, 4. So that's a little low point for the area that it's in. It goes down. Okay. X-intercept or Y-intercept? Yeah, there's a Y-intercept at 0, 4. I don't see any X-intercepts. And then Aniston, is the graph continuous? No. Why is it not continuous? Do we know? Because the man falls off. That's actually a good point. So if we look at this, when we trace it with our finger, we're tracing, we have to pick up our finger, and that's what makes it not continuous. All right, end behavior, I'm going to say as I look to the left forever, as I look to the right forever. So as I look to the left, what do I see? Goes up. So y is positive infinity. And then as I look to the right, it goes down, so it's negative infinity. And that, my friends, is what we're doing today. Miss Rice, I'm not your friend. Don't call me that. The notes? Yeah. All right. Don't say it out loud. Just think about which piece you're allowed to plug in -7 for. Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. And then go ahead and plug in -7 and write down your answer. What's weird about this one? Yeah, it gives you the answer right away. You can't really plug it in, right? So what do you get? -1, yeah. So -7 is less than -3. That means you plug it in right there, which is just -1. Yeah. Yes, I'll check that in a little bit. All right. Don't say it out loud. Think about where you're allowed to plug in -3. And then write it down. What do you get? -1. So there's 2 -3s, but this one says you can equal. This one does not. So we have to plug it into the first one. All right, go ahead and plug in 0. Figure out which one you can plug 0 into. Write it down. What did you get? 1. So when we plug it in, which one do we plug it into? The second one. 0 is between -3 and 1, so I have to plug it into this one. All right, things are getting crazy now. You got to plug in -5. You got to plug in 7, and you got to add those answers together. That's a lot of work. Miss Rice coming through with the learning. She's so cool, you know? What'd you get for -5? -1. Okay. 7 is a little bit bigger this time. What do you get when you plug in 7? 36. We get 36? Yeah, because it's 7 minus 1 squared. Right? Because 7's bigger than 1. 7 minus 1 squared. All right, so -1 plus 36 is 35. That's definitely off the graph. Okay, it says to find the intercepts. How many of those do we have? 3. We have an x-intercept, an x-intercept, and a y-intercept. Yeah. So go ahead and write them down. So what are the intercepts?
0, 1, 0, 0, 1.
Okay. And then for end behavior, we always look to the left and we look to the right. And as we look to the left, this one's a little weird. You saw it for the first time on the notes last night. It goes to, what does the y value become on the left? Forever, not 0. -1. So the one last night was 0, but this time it's -1. So it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it stays at that number. So as we look to the left, y always goes to -1, it doesn't change. As we look to the right, what is y doing? Goes up. All right, we're going to do a bonus. The range. Okay, I'm going to cover this up. We're just going to look at the one piece right now. So this part, I think, for the range is not too bad. Look at down to up. What do you see? Down to up. Not -1. We're covering up that piece right now. We're just looking at these two pieces. 0 to infinity. Okay, so leave some space, and then we're going to do 0 to infinity. Why did I do a bracket? Yeah, it's a solid dot. We're including it. Okay, now if we cover that up, do you guys see how this is not like a range of numbers? It's literally just one y coordinate. The way that we write that is we put a -1 in brackets all by itself. It's just that one y value for this little part right here. And we put the u in between. Wasn't that fun? Union. It means that you can't just say one answer or the other. You have to say both at the same time. No, because these two are kind of happening at the same time. They both kind of, so this one goes from 0 to 4, but this one goes from 0 to infinity, so 0 to infinity wins. Yeah. All right. Do we feel kind of okay? Kind of? Okay, so do your best to work on those. This is, I'm going to work on my answer key right now, and as I do it, I will get the answers up for you. Okay? Marvelous.